Welcome to Recruiting Intel on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook. That's Justin Wells. That's Coach Dub. This is our weekly look at the latest from the recruiting trail. So make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you have not done so yet, now is a great time to join Inside Texas. $1 for your first month. That gets you all the way through the end of the season, through conference championship and playoff push, and through National Signing Day as we talk about Texas trying to finish up its 2026 class. So go ahead and go to that first link in our description, or you can sign that QR code there in the top left corner. That'll get you to the sign up link. Take advantage of that promo for all new customers. Can't wait to see y'all over there talking Texas as we enter the best time of year when it comes to football season. Late November pushes not only on the field, but on the recruiting trail. And Justin, we got to talk a little bit about some flip candidates that Texas has in the 2026 class. Guys, they're on the offensive floor. We'll start in the SEC with Bryson Martinez. He's an LSU commit, and a lot of funny stuff going on with LSU these days, playing out in the East Baton Rouge Parish courtrooms. But when it comes to Bryson Martinez from Gonzales, Louisiana, East Ascension High School, Texas has got him in for official or an unofficial. What's the latest on that recruitment as I work to get his huddle up on the screen?
Yeah, Bryson's a very, very unique prospect. I thought Eric really said it best in one of the threads we've talked about him. He said, this is Hezzy Kent, but knows he's an offensive tackle. And I really thought he put that well, because Bryson's his athleticism, like, you just don't see this kind of stuff on the offensive line. Kind of reminds me of Lamar Brown a little bit, just in his versatility, not the same player or whatnot. This kid's 6'6", 290 pounds. Okay, why he may not be the most technically sound kid, he makes up for it with tenacity, with effort, and with strength. Like, this kid is South Louisiana guys, like, they're tough. You just don't come from that area. These are rugged kids. And listen, like you said, Joe, LSU right now is in turmoil. Baton Rouge has been flipped upside down. They're trying to put all the BBs back in the box, and they're not even picking them up yet. And so this is the time to go into that recruiting class and say, you know what? I want this, and I want that, and I'll take two of those. And I think that's what Sark and the guys are doing right now. And we have mentioned this. How many times have we mentioned this in this cycle? Texas is going to flip an offensive tackle. Texas is going to try to get another offensive tackle. Like, it's like a broken record. But let's keep playing the hits. They're going to get an offensive tackle. And this is the kid they want to flip right now. Everyone's kind of had their crush on Malachi Lee, myself included. But I really do like this kid, Martinez. He came in for the Vanderbilt game for an unofficial visit. Had an absolute blast, and then 2 days later set his official visit, which will be for the Arkansas game, I believe, on November 22nd. And so Texas is squarely in the mix. And so they're circling around that area like buzzards. They're looking at Richard Anderson and Aiden All out of Edna Carr. Those two are expected on campus in the next couple weeks. Martinez is in that same little vicinity, and so that's the latest. We put up a recruiting notebook at InsideTexas.com. You really got to check that out. A lot of good stuff from Ian Boyd and some sources on just how Bryson would fit in the Texas program.
Charlie, when you look at I like the Hez Kent comparison. Those are the only highlights we kind of have available here from this season, but you see him wearing number 88 for his team and doing a little bit. And that's a function of, hey, if you're that type of athlete on your high school, your coaches has to take advantage of you. But the fact that, ranked as an offensive tackle, doesn't seem like he has any issue being an offensive tackle. To see that athleticism and then know what his position is going to be at the next level, how does that maybe impact your view of him compared to someone like Hez Kent, who everybody's like, sure, you're a tight end, even though they want to put a number in the 60s and 70s on him right when he gets to campus?
Yeah, look, a kid who knows exactly what it's going to be. You look at, find some things on him during the summer. He camped as an offensive tackle at pretty much every camp he went to. So he kind of knew that he was going to grow into offensive tackle. I'm sure he bought in. And look, left tackles make a whole lot more money than tight ends. So, hey, if you really want to buy in, I'm sure somebody was in his ear letting him know that. But a kid who just knows his worth and knows exactly what he is. And so, and no time in wasting in tight end unless you want to be the fifth, sixth offensive lineman for Sark and play tight end early, maybe as a freshman, like he did sometimes with the heavy package. But other than that, this kid knows he's a tackle, and he's fully bought in, and he looks really good. Looking at his stance, he still lines up like a tight end, like he's getting ready to fire off the ball and run a route. But he has some nuances to get down, like proper technique as offensive lineman. But his athleticism, and he's going to get there in no time. So I like him a lot.
Hey, we saw Malik Agbo and Andre Karich work their way onto the field. Obviously, both those guys went to go find more conventional roles after Texas, but it is a place for you to find opportunity so long as Sark uses it, and that's something that we haven't seen a ton of, but still, it's in the playbook, it's there, and maybe Bryson Martinez could come fill that role at Texas. Lots of work to do there. LSU, like I said, I do wonder, we talked a little bit about this with just the coaching market and seeing if a coach at whatever other school sees that LSU is trying to get out of having to pay $54 million, I'm curious how that affects the coaching market. Y'all really think this type of stuff affects how recruits see it, or are they just waiting and seeing who's the next to wear purple and gold?
Recruits don't care. Agents might mention it slightly, but a contract is a contract. So no matter where you're at, if you sign something, that's kind of what you're getting. And so recruits don't view it that way. They don't see the bigger picture in that sense. And that's all. And that's actually good. They shouldn't have to worry about the back end kind of administration and all that kind of stuff that what's going on. They shouldn't have to at the same sense. You start, bringing them into worrying about that kind of stuff. That's just, I think, more problems. But no, I don't think it affects recruiting, Charlie.
I don't think it affects recruiting. I think it only affects the guys who on its current roster think about going into the portal. They want to know. But as far as recruits, it really depends on who they have relationships with, but I don't think it factors in as much. The school's going to make the best hire they think, and if they feel like they can fit in that offense or defense, then they're going to go for it and stay committed. As long as the NIL lines up and everything else lines up, they'll probably go for it.
Yeah, it may not – the process probably doesn't scare them. They're just waiting on the product. They're just waiting on the head coach to show up.
Exactly. Once the head coach is they don't care about anything else. Once that head coach comes in and once they start to build with whoever it is. But it's something, you said it earlier, it's something that coaches, I think it's gonna affect some contracts down the road, some future contracts, some guarantees. I just don't think that this is sustainable in doing this.
Yeah, the risk, another topic for another show, but the risk reward between national championship and zero on your buyout for cause, which I still don't think is going to happen. It could change how people view LSU. Anyway,
I'll go on something else. Go ahead.
We'll get back to recruiting in a second, but first, a word from our sponsor. There's only one way to describe Roback: best fit, best feel. For those who aren't familiar with Roback, they are completely changing the game with their incredibly comfortable activewear. Roback has released so many items within their new licensed game day collection, and it's our favorite. With novel polo designs and clean hoodie and Q-zip designs from some of your favorite schools like Texas, it's definitely worth checking out. Nobody else on the market is pairing these level of custom designs with this quality of activewear. Roback's everyday shorts or their Delta Performance pants are the perfect pairing as well. Both are super comfortable, have an elastic waistband, and great fabric that's made to have the appearance of a nice short look, with the comfort for a day on the move. Roback has also been proudly leading the NIL charge, having signed partnerships with multiple college football stars like Quinn Ewers. They are becoming the go-to brand for college athletes across the country. Use the code TEXAS20 on roback.com for a generous 20% off for all new customers through the end of this week. That's RHOBACK.com and 20% off all performance polos, shorts, and more with Texas 20. We'll keep going from an SEC pledge to a, still weird for me to say this, a Big Ten pledge, talking about defensive tackle. And Justin, we saw Dylan Berryman open up his recruitment from Ouachita Parish. We still know that Texas wants 4 defensive linemen in this class. And Charlie, this is the one that Texas has kind of viewed as a numbers buster for a while. And if he's going to be number 4, it would be this. And again, this is his junior film, so you're just going to see some great stuff here. But Texas has not let up on Jamie Winfield as they try to fill out the 2026 class in the trenches.
No, and for good reason. Look, this kid has gotten a lot bigger, a lot meaner, a lot stronger, faster, and everything. Richardson hasn't been to the playoffs in one district, and I don't know, since 1998. And for the first time, they're in the playoffs and they won district, and due to part to him, and he's so dominant on defense. You know, they even let him line up at running back on offense. Like, he does it all. This kid is just amazing. He's just a bully in a bull in a china shop. He can't be blocked. He has a motor. He chases the ball down consistently, nonstop. I mean, for good reason why Texas is out there. I mean, he's a numbers buster for a reason. I think a lot of people are still trying to recruit this kid away from USC, and for good reason. Like I said, Jamian Winfield he's a guy that he reminds me of Ndamukong Suh, who took over the game versus Texas in the Big 12 championship. He's just unblockable, and that's what he does each and every Friday night.
Justin, this is when we say like Texas is not letting up, that's not like some special treatment that he's getting. Like, Texas does continue to recruit a lot of these players who commit elsewhere. Other schools continue to recruit Texas players who are committed. It's a big just part of the whole process. But it does feel like this continue to recruit is a little bit different just because of how high they have him on their board.
Yes, yes and no. Yeah, I do think he is a little special. I do think there is like a 1% of the recruits that they target every cycle that they deem numbers busters. Yeah, but like just must get, got to get, put everything into it, got to get. You know, the thing about Kenny Baker, he has kept this relationship going since they, right after they had moved from Mississippi to DFW. Like, this is a relationship that carried over. And the USC commitment kind of came out of nowhere. We know he took that visit, and we know what USC was kind of working with at the time when they got him, and I think a handful of other commitments within like a 3 or 4 month period. But Winfield is just, listen, I think we figured out what Sark's MO is in the SEC, and that is stockpile defensive linemen every year after year. And with 3 really good ones already in this class, they somewhat processed the last one because they got 2 guys they really like. They think they've got a shot at Jamian Winfield. They think they got a shot at Richard Anderson. And that's Texas doing what they usually do, going big game hunting on the defensive line. That's not going to stop. But Winfield, I got to tell you, Winfield might be a little special. Like, this one's a little bit different. Like, you stay in contact with all these kids, and you maintain it, and you learn more about them, and the process kind of just plays itself out. But man, Jamian is one of those that I feel like they feel like they're getting closer. Like, they can sense it. Like, it's starting to turn a little bit. The fact that this guy could potentially be visiting in the next few weeks, that's some of the biggest information we've had from D-line recruiting this entire cycle. Because he's been quiet. Yeah. He hasn't said much. And that's why Sark made it a priority to go by there and see him. And so, Charlie's done a great job on the recruitment on this one, and we just got to stay the course, because this one is one of those. Here's the thing, Joe. He could flip to Texas, and I wouldn't blink. Like, I would think, yeah, that makes sense. Or he could sign with USC, and I wouldn't blink. I'd go, well, he told us from day one he wasn't going to flip. And that's what he did. So that's a kid that either way, I think it's going to be fun to kind of to watch him for the next 3 weeks. But I disagree just a little bit, Joe. Not usually with you, but just a little. I do think he's special, and I know his mama thinks he's special too.
I was just about to add. Look, Mom has made it clear. I got a chance to sit with her at the game. She still loves Texas. She still loves Kenny Baker. It's nothing Texas on their own. They just chose USC. But has a coach or a staff been by school 3 different times of an uncommitted player? I think in this year they've been by Richardson High School 3 different times. And so with Sark being the last visit, tells you how special he really is.
And to that point, you mentioned that he visited 3 different times. Like, you are limited in the amount of times you can even get out on the road. So for Texas and Sark to spend 3 of those days, and for Sark to spend 1 of his travel days at Richardson going and seeing Jamian Winfield, that does say a lot about how they feel about him. So always good to get some defensive line talk.
You want to tackle that wide receiver question?
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. Before we do, got to talk a little bit about Game Time. If you want to go see, maybe you're interested in the NBA again, or maybe you're interested in the NHL, the NFL, college football, college hoops, all the different events coming up. There's a Winter Olympics going on, and maybe they got tickets for that. I know if there is an event, you got to go to Game Time. Go to gametime.co or use the Game Time app. Use the promo code ON3, the best place to get tickets. You can see the all-in price, so you're not surprised at the very end. You see the view from your seat. I used them in Starkville for my family. used them in had friends use them in Lexington, use them in Gainesville. This is the place to go for tickets. So go to Game Time, use the promo code ON3, get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but this is the way to get tickets. Let them know with promo code ON3 for that $20 off. Got a few questions to go through. Oh, Texas Homer. Which committed recruit do y'all hate most?
I love this question. I love this question. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. You ready? I'll go first real quick.
No.
The recruit that I hate the most.
Be careful.
Yeah. We don't hate any of these recruits.
No.
We don't hate any. I was going to turn it around and be like, hate to lose the most. Because I think Texas Homer might have missed a key or something on his computer when he's back there.
I think so too.
Producing this thing. I think he might have missed a couple letters or whatnot. I would hate to lose Max Wright the most. He has turned into a freaking beast. 6'8", 310. I always thought he was a development kid. I don't think he's that far off anymore. His senior tape is fantastic. They got to talk to him last a couple of days ago. He is locked into this recruiting class, even though SMU is pushing big. That's the guy I would hate to lose the most out of this class. What about you, Charlie?
Can I stay on the offensive line?
Yes.
go one out of North Carolina and John Turntown, who A&M is really, really pushing for right now.
There you go.
I would hate to lose that, especially with the way the offensive line class is kind of shaped out to be so far in 2026. I don't want to lose anybody up front, but you mentioned one, I definitely don't want to lose Turntown.
That's their bookend kids. Even if they flip Bryson Martinez, that's your bookend. Max is your left tackle, and John Turntown would be your right tackle at the moment.
I'll go Samari Matthews. I like keeping that corner.
That's so random.
Well, I don't want him to leave this class if I'm Texas. I want to keep that corner pipeline
you like
going.
That smoke.
Yeah. And I think oh man, which IT coworker do you hate the most?
Oh God.
All the same.
I will paint this thing. I won't just say it on this YouTube show. I'll paint it on my front door. He knows who he is too. And I'll call him after this and cuss him about it too.
Why is my phone ringing?
I was about to say, that's coming. Look, that's a great question, Sugar Poppy. That's a great question. But here's the thing, man. We really do have like the best group of guys that you could ever want to work with. Like there is no hate with anybody. Everybody checks their ego to the side. We've got like the greatest staff. Everybody is so super cool. They understand their role. They're self-motivated. Brother, there's no hatred on this planet inside Texas. There's no hatred. We love each other.
Got a good one here. This could just be a one. I think we can all just go one guy, and we'll be able to hit either side of the ball between the three of us. Which recruit on either side of the ball is on a wish list in this 2026 class?
Are we talking like another school's wish list? Like they'd love to flip?
Yeah. A guy not in Texas class.
A guy not in Texas class that they would love to have.
Or that you would just like in general in that class. I have one off the top of my head. I remember him.
Bryce Underwood.
But yeah. No, it's actually give me 1 second. I know he's committed to Notre Dame, and I know he's from like Pennsylvania. He's that offensive tackle from way up in the Northeast. Golly, I'll get it in just a second. Although Javian Osborne would be pretty nice.
Javian Osborne would be nice.
Something like that, right? McKeo, something like that, Joe?
Yeah, Grayson McKeo from Pennsylvania.
Remember how Texas offered him, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Texas offered him.
And they thought they were maybe going to get a visit.
Yeah, and then he jumped on Notre Dame, and he has looked. Yeah, he looks really good. But Chris Henry Jr. Like that's if I have a wish list. And listen, as long as the O-line is taken care of, that's how you can, maximize a Chris Henry. But that would be on my wish list. Give me a Chris, because this wide receiver class, they went big in 2025, guys. They got 5 stars in Khalil Lockett and Jamie French, 4-star, and Dalen McCutcheon. Like they went big in that one. This 26 cycle is more developmental. And so if I had a chance to throw in a guy it'd be Chris Henry Jr. That kid is going to do – he's going to do Jeremiah Smith type things on Saturdays in the future.
He's got
that's a good one. The guy nobody talks about, and look, I think he's an NFL player. He's that good. But he's a teammate of Jalen Lott at Frisco Panther Creek.
Oh, God.
I'm going to say Donovan Webb. I don't see really many safeties like that in the country at Donovan Webb. I mean, 6'2", maybe 190, 195, but he plays offense, he plays defense. But, man, that kid is special. I think he's an absolute steal for Texas Tech, but I wish we had him.
They threw a courtesy offer there, and they didn't recruit him. And I don't understand that at all. Like, you're right. That kid has progressed more than anybody in that area.
Yeah.
Couple questions. Williams David, what's up with Haven Finney? Why has his recruitment with Texas gone from 100 to 0 overnight? He's from California, or is he from?
Yeah, reclassified. He's a kid Charlie and I saw in 7-on-7. They've got the two guys they want, Samari Matthews and Hayward Howard Jr. They're going to try to add one more into Ray Davis. Like, they would love to flip Haven Finney. He's committed to LSU right now, and so it was never like 100 to 0. It was always kind of like 40 to 50. Like, he's one of those kids that we talked about earlier. Like, LSU, there's chum in the water, and the coaches are circling that thing. And Sark is one of the main ones, and so they have continued that relationship with Finney, but it just doesn't look like they're going to flip him right now. If they're focusing their resources like they are, bringing in, Mark Orfe went to go see Torrey Davis on Friday night. They're bringing him in 2 weeks for an official visit. That's a sign. Those are data points that they would take a Haven Finney. Trust me, they would flip that kid in a second. I think he's teammates with Richard Wesley.
He is,
the Texas commit, who's also another reclassified kid. But at the end of the day, I don't know about their chances there. I think they're packed with what they have, and Davis would be the third.
And then this is a good way to plug a few different things, answer a few different questions. If Texas doesn't get Jamarian Carlton, Trenton Henderson, or Dre Quinn, do you guys think Kosiak Paul will be developed into a weak defensive end rather than an outside linebacker? Eric Naline just wrote about this.
Yeah.
You see number 8 on Texas defense. That could be a pretty good mold of what Kosiak Paul could be in the coming years, doing a little bit of everything, kind of more in that Sam role. I guess he would be more of an outside linebacker role. But I definitely think he's kind of got that multiple skill set to where he could look like Trey Moore, and Eric Naline lays that out in an article I think that he posted last week. So I would check that one out. And then this is a good one. Speaking of edge, they are looking for one more edge. Why not any interest in Carter Buck from Lake
Isn't that the
Travis?
kid committed to TCU?
He's committed to TCU. I think there may be another kid on Lake Travis who's an edge committed to Kentucky. And I thought that was him for a minute, and I can't find it just on this cursory search. But, they do have another edge, Ben Duncombe, who's committed to Kentucky. They have Richard Wesley. They have I'm missing one.
That's the edge in this class.
That's that, and it's also probably just a 2-man edge class too. 2.5.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Because they went big on Wesley, and they're going to have to go big if they want Dre Quinn, and that's actually that's still trending Texas for the most part. I just feel like if Buck's having a great season. I mean, look at this kid leading the classification in sacks, but I think they've already identified who they want. And it doesn't. They have no problem taking those North Austin kids, Ethan Burke, Colton Voshik. There's a whole host of those kids on the roster. I just think they're trying to hunt for bigger game.
I also think
that goes with that. That is awesome.
If they wanted an in-state guy, it's probably Jamarian Carlton who they're looking for, and we talked about him last week. So, lots to go over. Make sure you do come over and check out Inside Texas. Go to that first link in our description. Scan that QR code at the top of the screen. Join for just $1. Get a month. That gets you through National Signing Day, gets through the recruiting push, gets through the Georgia game and the A&M game, and through everything going on here as November turns into December. Can't wait to see everybody over there on Inside Texas. So,
David Williams, did you just see that? Come on. I'm going to keep pressuring you. You got to come back. Come home. You too good for your home? Answer me. Come on. We need to see you, brother. Come see us. $1 for 1 month. This really is the best time to do it.
Williams
Can we
Davis.
get one more? One more. Rapid fire. Sweet and low Poppy. Who is your favorite IT employee? This is easy for me, okay? Ian freaking Boyd.
Oh, yeah.
All right? That's my numero uno favorite IT employee, Ian Boyd. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can handle the Boyd.
Everybody's tied for first.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
That is so such a Joe answer.
I know. Well,
I like everybody.
Hey,
thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next time on Recruiting Intel on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com.